Hello, Declan. Thank you for coming in today. We were going to have a bit of a discussion about your involvement with 40 Days for Life, with praying outside the abortion centre. Before we do that, maybe we could just talk a little bit about yourself, if you could just share about who you are and your own background or interests.
So my name's Declan. I'm 38. I'm from Birmingham. I'm working in the pensions industry, and in my spare time, big football fan, like a game of darts. Really love my music, like going to gigs, things like that. So,
and have you always been pro-life, Declan?
I've always been pro-life. I haven't always been actively pro-life. I think it really kind of came for me. I lived in Ireland for a few years, and I was there during the referendum where they were going to have a vote on abortion. And that's really when I kind of became actively pro-life. I really wanted to be involved in that. So I was kind of helping out, chatting to friends just about it, handing leaflets out at church, even giving badges out as well. So things like that. That's kind of when I really kind of became pro-life. And then it carried on. I moved back to Birmingham, and I wanted to carry it on here as well. So that's when I joined it with 40 Days.
And was that your first time praying outside an abortion centre, or have you done that before?
No, it was. The first time was in England. I was given the opportunity in Dublin to do that. But at the time, I didn't really fully understand what it was, what I was doing, and I didn't really know anybody else who was doing it. So I think there was just a little bit of apprehension from my point. But when I moved back to Birmingham, I had friends who were doing it, and they told me all about it, and it was something that I wanted to get involved in. So that was my first time when I came back to Birmingham.
Any doubts, or were you just really enthusiastic? Or
No, I think everyone would always have doubts to start with, but I think they were very easily kind of put to bed with my friends. They kind of reassured me that everything is fine when you're outside the abortion clinic. So I went along, and it was completely fine. Obviously you do build things up in your head, but when you actually get there, you realise it's actually nowhere near as bad as that.
And have you got any experiences that you could share from your time there outside the abortion centre?
Yeah, well, I mean, mostly it's been kind of fairly quiet. We usually pray down, we go in the evenings, it's mainly just praying because the abortion clinic's actually closed. But you do have local residents walking past, running, walking their dogs, things like that. So we've had a few experiences. We've had some people just stop just to say thank you, just to say God bless, which is like really nice. It's really heartening then. It kind of makes it all worthwhile when you know people are recognising what you're doing. So
it's interesting that you said you go there when the abortion centre's closed. Now, some people would think, well, what's the point of that? If you're going to help women, why go there when it's closed? What would your reasons be then, Declan?
So it's more, I think, just for a witness, just to kind of show people that, look, there is an abortion centre there, and we're just standing outside, we're praying, and we just want to be a witness to everybody that we think this is wrong and that it shouldn't be allowed. And I think it does work because people, as I say, are walking past, local residents. Some of them may not even realise it is an abortion centre. It just looks like a normal house. So it's nice to be able to kind of stand outside and just kind of bring it to light to people that didn't know about it.
And it's interesting, actually, how many stories I've heard of people who went to the abortion centre maybe the day before, maybe the evening before, just to check where it was, ready for their appointment the next day or the next week. And I've seen somebody there, and that has actually really touched them. So sometimes you might be thinking, well, I'm standing there, it's closed, how can I be possibly reaching the women? But sometimes that person will still be sent to you, the one that you need to talk to, you know?
That's it, yeah. And I think, as I say, it's one of those, we don't always know the impact that we're having, and we may never know. But just to be able to do it and just we know in our hearts that, yeah, we're kind of making a difference to people. So I think that's the important thing. We might not always see it physically, but we know in our hearts that we are making a difference.
And is this something that you're able to talk about in your life? I mean, is it something that you kind of would share with your friends, or is it something that you kind of feel, oh, you know, I'm not sure I can really talk about? You know, do you talk about it with your friends?
I do talk about it. Again, it's taken me time to kind of get to that kind of level. But as I say, it started in Ireland that I just felt so strongly about it that I felt I had to say something because, again, there was a referendum going on. And again, I've carried that back now when I've come to Birmingham. My friends know about it. Some of them don't always agree with it, but it's nice that we can have the discussion. And it really opened my eyes to the amount of misinformation or just assumptions that some people make, that like a lot of my friends just think, oh no, it's fine, they're getting all the help and support they need inside. And when I actually tell them, no, that's not the case, they are actually shocked. So I think that's the kind of thing that is good when you talk to your friends. It actually opens their eyes as well. So it's not just the people outside the clinic, it's actually people within your own kind of families and friend zones that kind of it's helping them as well to really give them an education on it.
Yeah, it is so important to talk about it. And I know from myself as well, just those conversations sometimes they've shared something with me back as well that I haven't realised. And I just think it is a topic that we need to talk about, whether it's people who agree with us to affirm them, or whether it's people who maybe have different opinions, for us both to learn from that. So I think it's got to be good to talk about this subject either way.
Definitely. I think, a lot of people do kind of fear about actually saying it out loud, but I think you do need to talk about it, because the more we talk about it, the more that we can actually do something about it. So definitely I would recommend everybody just talk about it with your friends. You just don't know who you might be able to help.
And I know one of the things you shared with me before, Declan, is that one of the blessings for you was, that sense of friendship that you felt when you joined as well.
It is there's a real good kind of community kind of spirit there, and I say you kind of, when you're doing it, you take over from somebody and you actually hand over then to someone as well. And I've actually made some really good friends doing that, and one in particular, it was a seminarian who happened to be on the same kind of slot as me.
So that's a trainee priest, isn't it?
Trainee priest. And I just happened, first time I'd ever met him, and it was actually the only time kind of from doing 40 days. But we just had a real good connection, and we stayed in touch. He's actually become a very good friend of mine now for the last 2 years. We've been in touch regularly, going out for meals and things. So it's not just about kind of doing the praying and helping people. You actually get a lot of graces back, and one of those is really good friendships.
I've definitely felt that myself. And I know sometimes I've been standing there and it's cold and it's wet, and sometimes even it's a bit boring, and you don't actually kind of experience any of the fruits of what you're doing at that time. But there's other times when those graces of what I've gained have just been absolutely abundant. Like you're saying, the amazing friendships that I've built up over the years, either with people who, like you say, who pray there, from the mums that we've met, that we've been able to help, that we've continued relationships with, sometimes from people who actually had abortions, but we've managed to help find healing. Some of those relationships have been fantastic and meant so much to me. And I know that's something that you've also mentioned to me, isn't it, Declan, that talking about people who've been through abortion, I know the post-abortive organisation Rachel's Vineyard is something very close to your heart.
It is, yeah. So I've actually been very blessed to actually go in a Rachel's Vineyard retreat. So I've actually seen firsthand kind of the impact that abortion has on not just women but men as well. It is for both. And it's not even just the parents, it's the grandparents, it's the siblings. So I've been very blessed to actually attend one of those, and I've been able to see kind of the impact that abortion has, but then also, as you say, the healing that can go on afterwards. So it is a very, very big blessing for me.
I mean, I know you just shared there about how it can impact men as well as women, which is sometimes something that's maybe not talked about so much, isn't it? If someone were to say to you as a man, why are you involved in pro-life work? Is that not more of a woman's area? Is it to do with that? Is there any particular reason that you would feel as a man that you've kind of got a right to be involved in this work?
Well, I don't think it should be a case of man or woman. I think at the end of the day, everybody should be involved. It's about helping people. It's about just being there to assist people in sometimes some dark times for them. So I don't think it matters if you're a man or a woman. It's about the actual helping of people. So I'd say to anybody who's a man who's reluctant not to worry about things like that, because you have every right to be there because you want to help somebody.
And I know you've encouraged some of your male friends to get involved as well, haven't you, in the campaign?
I have done, yes. One of my very good friends, he was I chatted to him about it and what we did, and I just said, would he be interested in coming along? Like myself, he was a little bit apprehensive to start with, but I talked him through what we did. He did come along with me for one campaign, and he just had so many graces and so many blessings that he's now a regular as well with myself. So it's brilliant, and it's really nice to have another friend there kind of alongside me.
Great, we'll put you to head of recruitment.
Deal.
So if there's anyone else watching today then, and they're thinking, maybe I'll give it a go, or, particularly maybe the men out there, what would you say to them today?
I'd say definitely give it a go. I say the graces that you get from there, you won't always see that you're going to be the people that you are going to help, but you will be making such a difference. I really wouldn't worry about what other people may think or may say to you. Just honestly get out there and just give it a go, and you'll be a regular like myself and my friend.
Thank you so much, Declan. And if that is you today, you're considering going along. I mean, I know Declan said earlier about as men you have a right to be there. I'd actually almost say you've got a duty to. We've got a duty to be helping those who are in difficult situations. We all go through those difficult situations at some point in our lives. Let's stand in solidarity with those who may be struggling in their pregnancy for whatever reason that might be. So please stop thinking about it and just get out there and join in your local 40 Days for Life or other pro-life vigil near you. And if there's not one, maybe you could be the one to start that. Thank you.